What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this latest album from Tyler the Creator, and it is called Igor. Now, Tyler the Creator is a rapper and singer who's coming out of California, and when you look at his discography, you are going to hear so many different sounds, man. He's an artist who's not afraid to push boundaries and try new things, so even though I don't like every project that he's done, that is something I always respect about him. He doesn't just do the same shit or follow trends. He dropped that album Cherry Bomb a couple years back where he was getting very experimental and abrasive with lo-fi elements, distortion, just all kinds of wild shit going on, and that was an example of a project that I really didn't like because I'm not into that style. But then with Flower Boy, his last album, he really connected with me musically, man. This one was just very smooth, melodic, and laced with great R&B vocals and features, and it was dealing with love and relationships, as well as Tyler the Creator coming out of the closet and dealing with all those emotions and various other things. I just thought that was a great album. It did make my year-end list the year that it dropped. So all this said, I was just curious to see what direction he was going to go with here. Was he going to go for that more crazy style he had on Cherry Bomb, or was he going to smooth things out like he did on Flower Boy? And honestly, after listening through this album over the past couple of days, I think he kind of married these two styles because you're going to pick up on those influences and ideas throughout this entire project, man. You're getting some distorted shit, which I will talk about later, lots of vibey, smooth joints, singing, rapping. It really is just a blend of pretty much everything that Tyler's done, although not really the more, when he first started out, he was going for shock value and shit. You're not really getting that because this is the more mature side of Tyler, both with the music, the sound of it all, and also with the things that he's getting at. So it all starts off with the intro track, Igor's Theme. I think this one really sets the tone because it's very smooth and vibey, and it got bass on it that is just thicker than Rose Monroe. I just love the production here. And Tyler, Lil Uzi, and Kali Uchis aren't really going deep or anything like that. They're just letting you know that if you're riding around town, people are going to feel this one. So it's a very light track. They're not getting into anything too heavy, and that's why I think it works good as an intro. It just kind of eases you into this, and that was something Tyler had said before he dropped this project. He said to listen to it start to finish, however you want to vibe with it, whether you're kicking back in the car, whatever, just enjoy it and follow along with the ride. So that was a nice way to kick things off and ease people into the project. Really is a great song, and just since I mentioned some of the features on it, I gotta bring up that this is one of those projects that have tons of people credited on pretty much every song. So I'm sure I'm gonna fuck up who's doing vocals here and there and who's doing what, this part, that part. There's just so much that's going on, but I just had to point that out because there's a lot of people that went into the making of this. Kind of reminds me of other projects that did that, like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, for example. But now we're getting off track. We're going to get right back into this. On the song Earthquake, this is one of the singles and a standout joint by far. We're getting Dev Hynes and Charlie Wilson. Uncle Charlie, of course. You know his voice when you hear him because he's a legend and an icon. And I appreciate this song because it's really running with the theme of the project, love, relationships, and heartbreak. I took this track as him comparing the falling apart of a relationship or the crashing of it to the devastation of an earthquake. And there's some great lines on here, like near the end of it when Tyler's rapping about how he doesn't want confrontation, he just wants confirmation. Sometimes that's how it is when a relationship is coming to an end. He's even doing a little bit of bagging on this song on the bridge, but in the end it just seems like he doesn't want to fight or fuss about it anymore. He just wants confirmation for how this person's feeling and what is going on. I think a lot of us have been there. I'm of course married and washed up now, so I'm kind of moved past that shit. But back in my younger days, man, your boy went through some heartbreak and all that, which would make for a whole other story. But I really like what he's getting into on this one. And I gotta point out that Playboi Carti's on here too. I am not a big Playboi Carti fan at all, but I gotta give him credit because he fits nicely on this song, and he was good on that Solange album as well, so I guess I can take Carti in low doses, but a full project of him, hell nah, man. Kind of like spicy food. I'm not big into spicy food. I don't mind a little kick here and there once in a while, but I don't want a whole fucking buffet of spicy food. That shit is gonna make my asshole explode like an erupting volcano. So this album really started off very strong for me. I like the vibes here and how it did kind of remind me of Flower Boy, and he keeps things going with the song called I Think. This one actually really reminds me of some 80s music with those keys, the synths coming into play, as well as the female vocals on here. Just kind of sounds like an 80s pop hit. And this was a song that I just really loved, man. Everything about it, the sound, the way the beat built up nice and slow and all these things came into play. Just a great song that keeps with the running theme of love and relationships and heartbreak. It's going to go on throughout this whole project. And when this album is smooth and funky like that, like these couple of tracks I talked about, that is when I like it the most. But unfortunately, there are some things here that just took me personally out of it, man. So I'm just giving you my opinion and speaking on what I like, not suggesting he changes shit up, you know what I mean? You got these people who are all mad at the Game of Thrones latest season, and they put a petition out because they want everything redone and changed. I'm not coming on that type of shit. I'm just going to speak on some of the stuff that personally didn't work for me. So on tracks like Running Out of Time and the Juicy Fruit guitar lace track Gone Gone, we're getting these pitched up vocals that run rampant. I just think that shit just sounds really weird and awkward, man. I'm not a fan of that. Once in a while it's okay in low doses here and there, or if it's like a part of a beat, obviously, that chipmunk soul sound. But when we're getting a bunch of singing with these weird effects on it, it just doesn't work for me, man. And even on the song Puppet, we get Kanye coming in, but it sounds like he's coming from out of the fucking studio hallway, man. Like he's at the vending machine rapping while the mic's turned on. It just sounds very distant and drowned out. Didn't fuck with that. And even on the song I Don't Love You Anymore, you're getting all this stuff, man. You're getting lo-fi elements, more drowned out vocals, and of course, some obnoxious vocals on the hook. So all these things, if you don't mind what I'm talking about here, I'm sure this isn't going to deter you at all, and I could see why you would love that as part of this album, obviously. But for me, like, I can just be very picky with vocals sometimes, man. I just think, you know, better singing on this, or maybe going with a more natural effect would have worked probably better. That's just my opinion, but what the fuck, it's his album, so who am I to say? But moving on, some of the other stuff that we get on here, we have New Magic Wand and What's Good. To me, these kind of have that cherry bomb sound. They're just very abrasive, loud bangers with some distortion. Didn't think they were all out awful or anything. They're just not really for me, but I get the appeal of them, so those were cool. And you know, like I said, I know this is all intentional and artistic choice. I know sometimes when I speak on the lo-fi sound, people say, it's on purpose, they meant to do that. This distant voice symbolizes this and that. I get it, man, I understand that. And sometimes I do actually like it, but just throughout this album, I could have done without a lot of that. I think it would have been better if it was much more smooth and soulful. That's just my opinion, but fuck it, I'm sure you're gonna let me know in the comments section how you feel, man. It's just that sound is all over the damn place these days, man. You can't avoid that shit. Kind of like when you're browsing through porno and you're just seeing stepmom porn pop up all the time, man. That's all the rage in 2019. Same with this lo-fi stuff that's really taken over. So if you love it, cool, I ain't hating on you. And overall, I still really do like this album, so don't get it twisted, man. I think this is a really good album. I gotta say, A Boy Is a Gun, this is a great song. I like the idea here where he's comparing a boy to a gun, obviously. I know, you can tell by the title. Just the idea of someone who's basically dangerous to you and you want them, but then by the end of this song, he actually is telling this person to stay the fuck away from him. So he does grow to learn that this person isn't good for him. Really cool track. I also like the Kanye-esque soul production on here. Really reminded me of some vintage Kanye shit from back in the day, so that was cool. And I just think the way that he's speaking on heartbreak and a relationship coming to an end, this is all stuff that a lot of people will be able to relate to, and I think people will connect with that for sure. The production helps as well. I like a lot of the beats on here, except for some of the stuff that I spoke on. Just really dope, man. Even the last track, Are We Still Friends, is cool. This has this very old school soul feel to it, I'll say, and I just like the title and the idea of the track, because that is the dreaded question when a relationship comes to an end. Are we still friends? It ain't easy to always be friends after some shit that people go through, but you know, I think it's cool that he brought that to this project and kind of broke that down, because many people can relate, as I said. So overall, for me, I think this is a pretty good project that I would give a 3.5 out of 5, because I don't see it making my year-end list, although I do think it'll be an honorable mention for sure. There's lots of stuff I like here, but it does get a bit all over the place with some of those different lo-fi elements, some of those voices that I just really am not down with at all. Like, the shit just annoys me, honestly, and can be grating. So those sort of things on here didn't really work for me, but I think if you're a Tyler, the Creator fan who likes, you know, the different styles that he does, I think this is going to hit you perfectly, man. I think you're really going to love this shit, because he's kind of blending it and mixing it all together. So pretty cool project. Love the production. I think there's some strong songwriting on here, but yeah, that's just how I feel, man. Some of those things just held it back a little bit for me. Otherwise, I probably would have gone with like a 4, maybe even higher. I don't know, but that's not how it is. This is how it is. So you guys let me know in the comment section what you think. How do you feel about this one? Feel free to rank his discography if you want to in the comment section. And what do you like better? Do you like this or Flower Boy? I know we don't have to compare these projects, but obviously that's something we do as part of the discussion, and I've seen plenty of people doing this. But for me personally, I think Flower Boy, it just really stuck out more. I guess because it was more shocking when it dropped. This kind of seems like a continuation of that sound with cherry bomb elements, as I said. But I think Flower Boy had greater moments with the vocals. I think the songwriting was greater. More moments just stuck with me from that one. That's just how I feel, but this is still a really good project. So hit those comment sections up. I am out of here. Make sure you do all that good YouTube and social media stuff where you show me love and you show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.